Good afternoon. This is the media center Ukraine, Odesa. We have a lot of events today, but now we will have our traditional speaker, the spokesperson for the head of the Odesa Oblast Military Administration, Serhii Bratchuk. Glory to Ukraine. Good afternoon. I would like to describe the current situation in the Odesa Oblast in different areas. Of course, the main aspect is security, and I would like to remind you that at the beginning of the current week, at 7 a.m. on the 31st of October, the Russian occupiers launched several waves of missile attacks on critical infrastructure facilities in Ukraine. Russians fired missiles from the 295 to 160 strategic bombers, and Russians fired more than 50 cruise missiles, 101 and 555, from the north of the Caspian Sea and from the Volga-Donsk area, Rostov region. But the forces and means of anti-aircraft defense of the Southern Air Command, and we're always very thankful to them, destroyed 2 missiles over the Odesa Oblast. On the 2nd of November, the enemy again fired 3 Ha-59 cruise missiles targeting the Odesa Oblast. You're well aware of this situation. They tried to attack us from the water area of the Black Sea with Su-30 strategic bomber, but air defense forces shot down all 3 missiles over the sea. Unfortunately, the threat level of missile and drone attacks remains very high. This is our current situation, and our oblast is no exception, as the whole of Ukraine. As for the being of our oblast, I would like to speak about heating season, energy, and education. The Odesa Oblast is fully ready to start the heating season. According to the regulations, the heating season starts if the average daily temperature is less than or equal to 8 degrees Celsius for 3 days. Today, we have an average daily temperature 13.5 degrees above zero. Thanks to the nature, we can make certain savings here. With the enemy regularly shelling our critical infrastructure, trying to hit the power supply objects, the region must be ready for any emergency. And our oblast proves to be quite effective for the last 8 months. As the Ukrainian Postal Service says, today is 8 months and 8 days and 8 years since the war, Russia-Ukraine war, began, and because we count from the 2014. To fight the enemy in the Odesa Oblast, facilities to locate stationary heating points and mobile heating points have been identified in all rayons and territorial communities of the Odesa Oblast. Stocking up on firewood is underway in the relevant areas. As of now, there are currently no outages in the region's power system. Schedules of consumption restrictions or power cuts have not been applied so far in the Odesa Oblast. If you have power cut as of today, we're speaking about planned or emergency repairs, which the power supply company announced respectively. As for the general secondary education institutions of the oblast, as you know, There have been introduced new lesson schedules according to the schedules of stabilizing blackouts provided by the energy supply company. The work has been finalized. There are new lesson schedules to study. The region continues to have the mixed form of studying offline and online, and there is also the option of individual studies. Children should be ready to possible changes of teachers and classmates, but we are sure that this will not interfere in the educational process for our small students on the way to recovery of Ukraine after we win over the Russian aggressor. Class teachers inform parents about new lesson schedules. The next issue to cover, last time I already mentioned this, namely restoration work to eliminate consequences of missile strikes. You know that work is underway despite the critical economic situation and logistic issues we are facing due to the war. The work is underway according to the schedules established. For example, in Dachna settlement, work to repair windows in the gymnasium hit by the enemy's missile is underway. As for the Tiras residential complex, the repair of the second elevator is almost finished. It is also planned to proceed with restoring the facade and common areas. And we hope that we will be able to follow the schedules that I mentioned last time. They are also the repairs schedule for Serhiivka. I covered this topic last time. We should also remember about digital transformation. The process is ongoing in our region. The new software, DIA-QR, is available in all communal healthcare facilities of the Oblast. This means that there is no more need to provide photocopies of documents anymore. One can transfer digital copies to the medical facility through DIA, simplifying the overall process. And this is the proper approach under the martial law. Agricultural sector is our pride, but unfortunately now it is also our pain. First of all, in Odesa region, a complex of autumn field works is underway. Farmers have been harvesting late crops. The general harvest area is 586,000 hectares. The key crop is sunflower, occupying the area of 400,000 hectares. 455,000 tons have already been threshed with an average yield of 12.9 quintals per hectare. Corn is also one of the main crops. It was harvested from an area of 66,000 hectares. The gross volume is 133,000 tons. The yield is 20 tons per hectare. Harvesting of soybeans, millet, buckwheat, and sorghum is underway in the Odesa Oblast. In August of this year, the farmers of the south of Odesa Oblast were the first in Ukraine to start the sowing campaign of winter crops for the 2023 harvest. I believe that this will be a peaceful year in Ukraine. According to the Department of Agrarian Policy, 167,000 hectares of winter rapeseed, 423,000 hectares of winter wheat, and 123,000 hectares of winter barley have been sown in the region, which is 79 and 60% of the plant areas under these crops, respectively. The situation is very dynamic in agricultural sector, and we can see changes every hour. So these numbers is of the present moment. As for the challenges that we've been facing in the agricultural sector, due to the insufficient amount of moisture in the 1 meter layer of the soil and the lack of precipitation in the farms located in the southern areas of the Odesa Oblast, there is a daily increase in the area of dead winter crops, unfortunately, which were sown, as I have previously mentioned, for the 2023 harvest. Unfortunately, just today, we already have 6,000 hectares of dead winter rape seedlings and 2,000 hectares of dead winter wheat. I hope and actually sure that the state will support agrarians, and the experts have been developing the algorithm to improve the situation. And of course, we hope for changes in the weather conditions. We are looking forward for the precipitation. I should also remind that in 2022, the farmers of Odessa region harvested 2.5 million tons of early grain and leguminous crops, of which 1.63 million tons of winter wheat, which is the main grain crop. Social sphere. Last time I promised you to report about this area as well. I would like to provide information about modular towns. Preparations for the operation of a modular town for internally displaced persons are being completed on the territory of Velikadalnitska rural community. This town is supposed to accommodate approximately 50 people. There are separate living rooms, a dining room, and the issue of the sanitary facilities will be resolved in the nearest future. Such a modular town, and this is a very important aspect, became possible thanks to close cooperation and the involvement of funds from public, charitable, and volunteer international organizations. I'm thankful to everyone involved in the process and supports the IDPs in Ukraine. This week, the Odesa Oblast Military Administration and the Odesa Oblast Council handed over a sanitary module for territorial defense soldiers, which was purchased and equipped at the expense of the regional budget. The necessary equipment is installed in the sanitary technical module. There are also heaters. The capacity of the sanitary module allows to heat water whose capacity is up to 140 liters. It is also important to note that, if necessary, this sanitary module can be transported to any area where territorial defense performs their mission. And as for the territorial defense units in general, of course, the Odesa Oblast Military Administration and the Odesa Oblast Council do everything possible to provide the necessary support to our units. I will cover this topic perhaps the next time. Thank you for your attention. This is the current situation in the Odesa Oblast so far. And we are waiting together for our victory, and we have no doubts that we will win. Thank you. I will be the first to ask the question. we know that there was exchange of 107 military, and one of them, at least one of them, was the soldier from the Odesa Oblast. Can you confirm this without providing personal details? But perhaps you can provide some other details to us, where this person served, what is his health condition, etc. As for exchange of POWs, all the commands are provided with the responsible officials. Thank you. The mic, please. Good afternoon. I have a question about the grain corridor, how it has been operating this week. And do we still have the UN's and Turkey's guarantees? And how many vessels will leave our ports this week? As for the current situation, the Ministry of Infrastructure will provide more details because they are responsible for providing this information. The grain corridor is operative. There was a technical break, but we are pleased with the fact that all our forecasts about the renewal operation of the green grain, despite the occupiers and terrorists' attempts, meaning Russian Federation's, to show their muscles in the Black Sea, everything will be operative. I would like to remind that no negotiations, moreover, no agreements are concluded with the Russian Federation with regard to the Green Corridor. We have the guarantees from Turkey and the UN. All three big Odessa ports are operative and I'm sure will continue their operations because we should here speak about the budget of Ukraine, the budget of armed forces and the budget of our future victory. В нас є запитання від міжнародного журналіста. Так, ви можете ставити ваше питання англійською мовою. Мене звуть Луїс, я представляю бразильське телебачення. Чи можете ви прокоментувати, яким чином, наскільки важливо для України отримувати ще більше повітряного захисту для того, щоб захистити не тільки порти, але також і населення? Thank you for your question. You are perfectly right in saying that today Ukraine needs, and we ask our allies for this, for supporting Ukraine in fighting the Russian terrorist and aggressor. So we ask for more modern air defense system, especially when it comes about anti-missile systems. And as soon as we have enough air defense systems, we will be able to close fully the Ukrainian sky by ourselves, protecting ourselves from Russian attacks. And I would like to remind that despite the fact that Brazil is quite far from us, and regardless of the political situation in your country, I would like to remind you that Ukraine protects today not only Europe, but also the whole world, including your state, from the enemy, from the evil. Thank you for your cooperation with us. Thank you for your question. If there are no other questions, we will close our briefing today. And now I would like to make announcement about upcoming events today. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for your time. At noon, we will have here the head of the humanitarian headquarters here, Alexei Chorny, and at quarter to 1, we will have Alexei Reznikov, the Minister of Defense of Ukraine, with us online here. Thank you.